everybody, it's Mrs. Peeler here. I am coming to you with a story to tell today. I have been thinking about you. I've been thinking about how you all came to the gym and got your work packets, and it was a very different experience as we are navigating this new territory together, as you are working at home. And I know it's different for everybody, and I want you to know that you are very smart and you are very capable, and you can do all of the work that I planned for you. I planned it with you in mind, that you would be able to do it, and that it would be a good review for the things that we have learned already for the last 130 days. So I know that you are going to do a great job, and I am a phone call away. Your parents can call me, and if you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. If you would like to email me, you can email me or send a seesaw message. So I am not very far away. I will just be at my house with my husband. So I would love to hear from you. I have a story today about someone who was worried about school. Do you find yourself worried about not coming to school? Parents, do you find yourself worried about your students not coming to school? This is Wemberly Worried. And Wemberly Worried is about a mouse named Wemberly who worried. She worried a lot. She was a worrier. Are you a worrier? Now maybe we should talk about what that means. That means that you get nervous, or you think about things that might go wrong, and you think about it and you worry about it, and it makes you a little bit fearful. Well, in this story, we're going to learn about Wemberly and her worries and some things that she is worried about. So Wemberly Worried. Wemberly Worried. Wemberly worried about everything. You see her? Big things. Here, you can see it in the picture. She's in her parents' doorway, and it looks like, if I stop and think about this picture, it looks like it's dark outside, and her parents look like they want to be asleep, but they're not. And she says, "I want to make sure you all were still there." So she's in her parents' bedroom checking on them in the nighttime. Little things and things in between. So you can see she's in the bathtub and says, "Mama, what if I shrink?" Do you think she's going to shrink if she gets wet? Do you shrink if you get wet? Wemberly worried in the morning, she worried at night, and she worried throughout the day. So she really is a worrier. "You worry too much," said her mother. "When you worry, I worry," said father. "Worry, worry, worry," said her grandmother. "Too much worry." You can see that's her family. And you can see her grandmother is wearing a shirt that says, "Go with the flow." So I think someone that says a shirt that says "Go with the flow," and it looks like she's wearing rollerblades, is not a worrier. At home, Wemberly worried about the tree in the front yard. She's thinking, what if it falls on our house? Wow. And the crack in the living room wall. What if it gets bigger and something comes out of it? Make sure you see the pictures. Remote reading here. And the noise the radiators make. What if there's a snake inside? So that's called a radiator. You know how you have vents and heat comes out? This is how some people heat their houses. It has hot water that goes through it. So it makes a noise when the water goes through it. And she says, what if there's a snake inside? At the playground, Wemberly worried about the chains on the swings and the bolts on the slide and the bars on the jungle gym. Too rusty, she's thinking, too loose and too high. She's worried about the playground. I know none of you are worried about any of the playground equipment. And always she worried about her doll, Petal. Shouldn't Petal have a car seat too? Look, she's in the laundry. I'll wait for you, Petal. Petal's in the laundry. And then she's crying. She says, Petal's lost forever. And then, oh, there it is. I found her, sweetie. So, I'm inferring that it's kind of like Wemberly finds things to worry about, don't you? She worries a lot. Don't worry, said her mother. Don't worry, said her father. But Wemberly worried. She worried and worried and worried. When Wemberly was especially worried, she rubbed Petal's ears. Wemberly worried that if she didn't stop worrying, Petal would have no ears left at all. So when she's worried, she rubs Petal's ears. On her birthday, Wemberly worried that no one would come to her party. See, said her mother, there was nothing to worry about. Look at all those friends. This is the best present ever, one of them said. I wish I had my birthday today, said another friend. But then Wemberly worried that there wouldn't be enough cake. Lots of worries. Worry, worry, worry. On Halloween, Wemberly worried that there would be too many butterflies. Look, you can see she's dressed up as a butterfly in the neighborhood parade. See, said Father, there was nothing to worry about. But then Wemberly worried because she was the only one. So first there were too many. Now she's the only one. You worry too much, said her mother. When you worry, I worry, said Father. Worry, 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 said her grandmother. Too much worry. That painting she's pointing to says, take it as it comes. That's what we're doing, taking it as it comes. Soon, Wemberly had a new worry. School. Wemberly worried about the start of school more than anything she had ever worried about. You can see, it says, new morning nursery school, starting soon. That's her new school. And she says, oh, her father is saying, I loved school. Do you love school? I hope you do. So what are some things that Wemberly might be worried about? Because she's worried about a lot of things in our story so far. So what are some other things she might be worried about? Do you remember when you first came to my classroom or when you first came to kindergarten and you were worried? Do you remember the first day of school we drank some jitter juice to help our nerves? What were you worried about? I want you to stop and think. What were you worried about on the first day of school? By the time the first day arrived, Wemberly had a long list of worries. What if no one else has spots? What if no one else wears stripes? What if no one else brings a doll? What if the teacher is mean? What if the room smells bad? What if they make fun of my name? What if I can't find the bathroom? What if I hate the snack? What if I have to cry? In the background, there's all these question marks. All these question marks. Because she's asking a lot of questions that she's worried about. Don't worry, said her mother. Don't worry, said her father. but Wemberly worried. She worried and worried and worried. She worried all the way there. While Wemberly's parents talked to the teacher, Mrs. Peachum, Wemberly looked around the room. Then Mrs. Peachum said, "Wemberly, there is someone I think that you should meet." She's looking very worried there as her parents are talking to the teacher. Her name was Jewel. She was standing by herself. She was wearing stripes. She was holding a doll. At first, Wemberly and Jewel just peeked at each other. "This is Petal," said Wemberly. "This is Niblet," said Jewel. Petal waved. Niblet waved back. "Hi," said Petal. "Hi," said Niblet. "I rub her ears," said Wemberly. "I rub her nose," said Jewel. What do you think? It seems like that Wemberly is not worrying quite as much as she was when she got to school. What do you think is causing her to not worry? Stop and think. What's happening with Jewel that's making her less worried? Throughout the morning, Wemberly and Jewel sat side by side and played together wherever they could. Petal and Niblet sat side by side too. There they are, the baby carriage. Wemberly worried, but no more than usual, and sometimes even less. We know what that means, less. We know what less than means. So she worried less. That means her worries are getting smaller. Before Wemberly knew it, it was time to go home. You can see all the fun she's having. And before she knew it, it was time to go home. "Come back tomorrow," said Mrs. Peachum as the students walked out the door. Look at her. Is that a smile? She's smiling. Wemberly turned and smiled and waved. "I will," she said. "Don't worry." And that's the last picture in the book. So Wemberly sounds like Wemberly had a good experience at school. So, what are some things that she was worried about, and why did her worries get less when she was at school? I want you to stop and answer that question. You can stop the video and answer that question. Why, or what was she worrying about at the beginning of the story? A lot of things. And what helped her when she was at school to not worry so much? I'm going to give you a few minutes to stop and answer. Okay, so just stop the video, answer the questions, and then I'm going to wrap it up. I really enjoyed this story, Wemberly Worried. I honestly had never read it before I read it to you. And I think this is a good lesson that there's always something in our life going on that is can help us worry less. When we look at the good things that are happening, instead of looking at all the bad things that are happening, we can look at the good things. One good thing from this story is that Wemberly was going to school. That was a good thing. But also, she made a friend. She made a friend named Jewel, who had a doll just like her. And so Wemberly, when she was focused and listening to the good things, when she was thinking about the good things that were happening, she wasn't so worried, was she? I think that's a good lesson for all of us. When we're looking for good things, they're kind of easy to find, but we have to be looking for them, don't we? Well, this was fun. My first remote read aloud. This is very exciting. You guys are helping me do all kinds of new things. So I will be back throughout these days with another story. So I'm excited. Please make sure that you are reading to Mom or Dad, okay? We're reading and practicing. And I hope that you are doing well, and I will see you later. Bye.